I am Colton Cleary, and this is Nick Rieger. We are Bloodlines Comics. Today, we are going to talk about the Wyld. This is another one of those comic books that we found at Comic Con, and they're small-time writers and artists. Did you say they were from Ohio? Yes. So, and this story is about a universe where magic did exist at one point. And there was a big war that was done over it, and then magic kind of started to die off until it was just no more. And now they rely more on technology. Our main character, whose name is Rock, spelled R-O-K, is a wolf, and they're animal humanoid like beings. He was a wolf that was raised by sheep. And what's the name of like the little sister-like character?
Juna, I believe. Yes, Juna. So Juna is basically grew up with Rock and kind of, I think it was, Juna being a sheep and the sheep raising Rock as a wolf. Juna was always around, and it kind of brings you to when they were kids to present day when they're a little bit older and kind of more grown. And Juna is this happy-go-lucky, just kind of brings a real, like I said, happiness to the comic book. And she's just interested in this magic. And honestly, that's what Juna wants. She wants to know magic. And, what do they call it? Scripts, Colton? Is it
I believe so. Scripts. They're used for like payment in this world too. Like scripts that have like scripts of magic and apparently words of how to use it.
So that's kind of where the story begins, and then it gets a little more deeper, and we're not going to go too much into detail about it because we want you to read it. So
it's definitely worth the read. So, and Rock is more like he's more of our darker side of this comic book. He's more of a brooding force, always worried, concerned more about where he came from, and kind of facing the fact that he was just left on his own without his own people, and that's how he wound up getting raised by sheep. And our character winds up running into a hornet whose name is Vespa, if I remember correctly.
Vespa, yep.
And she's got like giant bugs that follow her around. Like whenever I say giant, I mean like huge, size of buildings.
Yeah, and the way they bring Vespa along is they just kind of make it seem like, oh, it's a random hornet.
Yeah, a random hornet, and then all of a sudden these huge bugs.
Yep, and you get the kind of the backstory on it later on in the comics. So
yep, and Vespa's more of a rebel, and she talks to Rock, and she kind of tries to bring him more to that rebel wild side, and he's just he kind of thinks it's a good idea, but then he goes back to take care of the community and stuff. Which they Rock and Juna both live in the Dale. You want to tell us anything about the Dale?
It's kind of like the city that's protected from the Wyld, basically, is how I perceived it. And they kind of show you at the end of the first issue that the Wyld is something you don't really want to mess with. It's much more of
the dog eat dog world. Kill
absolutely.
or be killed moments.
Yeah, and they honestly, it was serious, but at the same time, they had this comic side to them, where it was kind of like, okay, that's kind of funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, real lighthearted with some serious moments here and there. So it takes you back and forth. I think they really equated out well both ways.
Yep, absolutely. And then let's not forget about Ari.
Ari the lion. She's kind of your, the character where you don't really know too much about, and you just kind of run into her, and she's like off into the venture with you, And
absolutely.
Yeah, I really did like how they did the characters in this one. They definitely had a good feel for all their characters, like the three frogs, red, blue, and green, and how they kind of finish each other's statements and everything. And
oh yeah, they got this little. It's kind of like their little own league that they put together, And what do they have? They got a dinosaur, the three frogs, the shark. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I can't remember. I think it was like, I don't know. Can't remember it. And then did you say the dinosaur?
Yeah, the dinosaur. He's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
thought the
leader of
dinosaur was cool.
pack. And, it's kind of, you got like all these big superheroes and stuff like that. And it's just it was cool to see that, how they kind of brought their own superheroes together in this world. And, it wasn't mainstream or anything. It's, like we said, pretty local. And I really enjoyed it, honestly. That's, we want to write our own comics one day, right, Colt?
Oh yeah, can't wait for that moment. And
I kind of see one of our first issue comics kind of going towards that way.
that's what I like about reading all these comic books from Comic-Con, is they just give you a sense of, hey, I can do this. These guys are just starting out, just like anybody else, and this is a chance for us too, and getting to talk to them too, and kind of learn from what they have to say and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
just gives us
absolutely.
hope.
And, it gives us a little hope. And kind of speaking of hope, Rock, I think he needs a little bit once he meets the main antagonist.
Yeah, that's definitely something that inspires him. That he's a pretty scary fellow. Moratak with the skull and the two knives, and he's more like a wraith, I believe they wind up saying whenever they give you a little bit of detail on him. This mysterious man, there he is. Very awesome character. I felt like that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to pick up these books. Just kept on eyeballing that third issue, and it was like, this is a book I want to read.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Like the two dudes, was it Lee and Nate? I think that's their names.
yeah.
They were just your normal, regular Joes, and they were just there trying to promote their comic book. And we ended up, we walked past them, 2 or 3 times, and finally we're like, okay, we should probably check these guys out.
Yeah, we were also busy trying to hit up the ones that we did know, because we knew Matt already, and we had to go see Ron Braun, of course, which you guys will see later on. We're going to do some videos over there, comic books. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And next time we go to a convention, we got even more people now that we're going to want to stop and talk to, and it's just going to be a pretty big comic book community before you know it. So,
yeah,
for
absolutely.
us, it's kind of like we're making our way into a comic book community, I guess, not building one. So,
well, and that's exactly what we want. And but let's end it on the Wyld. That's what we're here for. So
yeah.
Overall, I mean, when I picked it up, I was like, okay, local comic book creators, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. I like the world they created, like I said, and the characters and stuff like that. And it was great, honestly. So I would thoroughly enjoy more on the Wyld.
Yes. Before we let you guys go, though, maybe we should let them know how they can get to knowing the Wyld.
Yes, absolutely. Very good call.
I honestly don't know. Do you know?
Are they brothers, Lee and Nate Zofer?
Yeah, it looks like they are. I'm looking for where you can buy the comics at. We need to do some investigating on that one. We'll drop something in the comments section, letting you guys know where you can buy the Wyld comics, and that way you can get in on the adventure and enjoy the magical world of the Wyld.